Might help if I had fingernails. Oh, this will be fun. It's nice and windy out here today. Alright, so today I'm going to be tinting the taillights on my 2017 Charger RT. And, like the title says, I am a complete beginner at this. I've never done tint, never messed with vinyl wrap, none of it. So, this is either going to be a video on just how easy it is for a complete beginner to do this, or it's going to be an utter fuck-up. Either way, we're all going to learn something. Here's what I'm going to be using on today's project. I got a roll of some VViViD air tint. I picked this up on Amazon for, I think it was like 16, 18 bucks, something like that. I'll leave a link in the description below. I also got just a vinyl wrap kit. Came with a couple of squeegees, little razor blade, little swedge tool to get into the cracks, stuff like that, and this blade for cutting the roll. So that's what I'm going to be using. Let's get rolling. So as you can see, this is a brand new roll of tint. So I haven't practiced, never tried this before, doing it completely cold. Let's get this thing opened and get started. Now, I've already cleaned the taillights with some alcohol just to get any grease, dirt, grime, anything off of the taillights. They've already been cleaned. Might help if I had fingernails. Oh, this will be fun. It's nice and windy out here today. So I'm going to start here on the flat just to get it all seated in there. Try to make sure it doesn't stick to the outside surrounding area. Just going to focus on getting the center part here on as much as possible. This is the flattest area, so once I get the center in place, then the rest of it, that'll allow me to get the curved areas done. So I'm going to focus on the flat area first. Now, I also have a cheap Harbor Freight heat gun here that I'm going to keep running just on the lowest setting, just to get just to keep it ready so I can heat up any areas that I need to be able to get this to stretch around the curves. Alright, and there's my first ever vinyl wrapped tinted taillight. Overall, it wasn't too bad. This concave area up in here was kind of a pain, so I just had to, keep working it with the heat, get it pressed in there. And I still have a couple of little air bubbles. There's one there, one there. I think those might be the only two that I just have to. I think I'm just going to continue to heat this up and see if I can work those air bubbles a little bit. But overall, that wasn't too bad. Time to get to the other tail light and then the cross section across the trunk. So after a little bit of manipulating the vinyl and stretching it and heating it and trimming it and everything, there is the final product. Now, overall, it didn't turn out that bad. Had no real issues, just some air bubbles I had to contend with. But, again, with some heat and some patience and squeegeeing and everything, most of them worked out. There's a few. But for my first time doing this, I'm pretty happy with it. The only real issue that I ran into, though, and it was no fault of procedure or anything like that, was the vinyl that I ordered wasn't long enough. There wasn't enough on the roll. It was only a 60-inch roll. I thought it would be good. Maybe I should have measured before I ordered it, but I have another one on the way. So what I had to do was, for the center section here, I only had enough to really come about halfway. So I had to split it lengthwise, and here I'll show you the seam that I ended up with. I don't know how well you can really see it, but there's a seam right there. So, other than that, like I said, that was nothing that had to do with anything except me ordering the wrong roll of vinyl. But again, overall, I think it turned out pretty well. So when the new roll gets here, that'll get replaced, and it shouldn't be too bad. So it's definitely doable. The only thing I would suggest is, again, have patience, take your time. Maybe if you're going to try it, pick an area that doesn't have too many contours. The hardest part that I ran into was in the corners there because of the concave shape there, and then having to work it in that area was a little difficult. But again, I got it. So give it a shot. Who knows? If it works out for you, good. If not, try it again. But that's really about it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next one.